Hey everybody, this is Paige from Mosaic Moments, and I have another design breakdown video for you. If you are not familiar with design breakdown, these are videos where I bring on one layout and talk about what is working about it and why it stands out so much and why it looks really well designed. All right, before we get started, I would like to know on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, how much you are loving the design breakdown videos. If you can give me a number in the comments below, I would love to see them and have an idea of what you're thinking about it and if you are enjoying watching them. So now I will be talking about this layout. This layout has our stitched corner tiles, so maybe from down here you couldn't see them very well, but up close hopefully you can see that there are these little stitches, which is part of the reason why this layout looks very attractive. So overall, the colors in this layout are great together. I have this light brown, it's called Wet Sand, and it's from our Barrier Islands collection. I love all the colors in that. If you do not have the Barrier Islands collection yet, definitely get it the next time you shop on our site because those colors are awesome. And this layout also has the back of 2 colors from our all season collection. And I thought they were great for this layout. They are very nice and soothing. But what also makes this layout unique is that I use this paper with multiple colors. So this would look really good with a solid cardstock, and the area I'm talking about is right here. This area here in the center is just a solid cardstock color. It's a light gray. The light gray does have these little speckles in it. I don't know how else to call them, but it's kind of like these dark speckles. I don't know if you can see it real well. Maybe you can see it right there. Part of the reason why I like doing these videos is so I can show you those details you can't see online that well, because some of our pages I think look better in person than online. And then I have this outer diamond section, and it has, like I said, the back of the all season paper. And so there's a little bit of green, but it's not just one solid color of green. So again, I wouldn't look bad with a solid cardstock, but I think that this color adds some interest. So picking your paper is an important choice when designing really well done layouts. And sometimes, like I said, the color cardstock is going to be the best choice. I think it works well right here in the center, partially because it adds contrast. It's the solid gray. It's also a much lighter color than everything else on the layout. And it does help these photos. This was actually one photograph, and I cut it 4 times with this little triangular die. So this solid color was great for this photo, but for the rest of it, it just adds something more interesting to have the multicolored background. And you can use the back of our grid paper, and I recommend looking for some paper pads out there that have simple papers like this. But surprisingly, your cardstock and paper tile color choices can end up making an impact on your layout. And again, I chose the back of another all season collection for my journaling spots and in each corner behind these photos because it made the layout feel overall really soothing. I just felt like any other kind of pattern paper was going to look too busy and take away from the other details, but I felt like a solid cardstock would feel too much. And these colors are also a little more grayed down. And I'm not gonna pick colors like this every time, but I do think for this layout, that is what helps it stand out so much. The paper choices can make the layout. And of course, the stitched corner tiles is very attractive. So we also have some of you may have our regular corner tile dies, and those are great. You can do this. The only thing you will not have is the little layering dies for the 2x2 size at least. The 4x4 did come with layering, but I feel like the stitched elements make the layout feel handmade, which can look really good on a scrapbook page. I mean, sometimes you may not be going for that, but I think for some reason, matting these photographs helps them stand out more. All these little stitch lines look so appealing. And so I really think the dies in this case really lend to the attractiveness of the entire layout. And another thing I did was use these shell photos. I did use these stitched corners. You can't see the stitching very well, but I think it's fine to go ahead and use the stitch dies. But what's great about these is, for most part, the shells and the rocks in here are very dark in color. And I thought it would be perfect to add in these corners because it's a perfect contrast, even for the entire layout. Like, everything else is very light in color. And so what else is appealing is having the dark colors in these photos make everything else stand out even more. And that was really important because, honestly, this paper stands out in the brown, but this green doesn't fully stand out in the brown as much. I mean, it does have some contrast, but not a whole ton. And so adding these darker color photos really boosted the color in this layout. Adding this dark color photos really made this part stick out a lot more. Plus, having this light gray did that as well. So again, contrast is really important. So even though this green part is attractive, it pops out particularly because I have dark and light tones next to it. And so you can really see that diamond, even though that green is not very contrasting on the brown. And it's also really fun to look at. These photos were taken at a distance, and I believe a lot of these, if not all of them, I printed smaller than 4x6. But it was actually really fun to make this layout and add in all these different photos. And even though they're smaller, adding small photos can actually be really fun because it helps you take your time looking at the layout and looking at all the fun details that are going on. So just something to consider, that the big photos are great. Obviously, I have 4 here that are bigger, and we want that. We want to have that contrast as well. We want some smaller things and we want some big things. And having the small things, though, to me feels a little more fun. It feels a little more interesting. It makes you want to look at the layout longer and look at each little photo and say, what's going on in there? So that is just something fun for you and whoever's viewing it, and why small photos can actually make a big impact on a layout, because it does add something more interesting and it helps people want to see the story and the little details more. All right, I think that's all I have for today. So again, let me know on a scale of 1 to 10 how much you're liking these design breakdown videos in the comments below, and let me know what you thought of this layout. All right, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.